Hey there, hope you're having a good day. This video is the first in a series that I plan on doing where I review all the different areas in Undecember. If you didn't already know, in each area there are 5 different cards that you can have, and it repeats. So 1 through 5, tiers 1 through 5 are in an order, and then it resets, and then tiers 6 through 10 are in that same order. So I'm reviewing the 5 cards for each area. So let's get into it. I'm going to use a rating system where I give categories between 0 and 1 star. Those categories are density, so what's the travel time between packs, the ease of grouping, navigation, minimal backtracking for navigation to be good, ease of clearing the full card basically without having to go back, safety, odds of getting stuck on the environment, slopes with enemies on them are dangerous because your projectiles can't go up a slope, they kind of just shoot off in a weird direction, and it usually requires you getting in the enemy's face or running through them to get through it. Narrow ways also affect safety because packs of enemies can rush in and bottleneck and crowd you and then just kill you and get you stuck. So with safety, you really just want wide spaces so that you can more easily escape damage. And then lastly, the 4th thing I'm going to be rating is the boss. How easy is it to defeat while turning off your brain, basically, because that's what this game's about. There's a middle min-max part of it where you're trying to build, but the actual gameplay, you kind of want to be able to just shut off your brain and play through a few cards. So, the odds of dying. Are there mechanics here that can one-shot you or deal enough damage to kill you at certain points? And then how much time is needed for the boss as well? Some bosses have invulnerability phases or animations, so, that'll also be a negative. So let's get into Nemera, the first area that I'm going to do. The 5 cards here are Breath, which is tier 1 and 6, Flow, which is tier 2 and 7, Float, tier 3 and 8, Convection, tier 4 and 9, and Cycle, tier 5 and 10. I'm just going to take them in order here. So Breath. This is characterized by blue jutting ice features. Rooms have 1 or 2 obstacles in the center requiring lots of circling and weaving to fully clear. Density is great in this map. Navigation is okay. There's some backtracking, but it's relatively easy to navigate. Safety is great. These wide spaces allow for easily dodging projectiles, and the boss is also very easy. Next is Flow. It's characterized by large square rooms connected by wide corridors. The density in this map is great. Aside from some passageways, a pack is almost always just a few steps away. Navigation is also easy and predictable. There's minimal backtracking here. Safety is just okay. The density in the large square rooms can be dangerous with crowding and them all rushing you at once and firing off projectiles. It can get a little hairy. The boss has several attacks that affect a wide area, and sometimes the animations can be hard to see where they're landing, and so it can be difficult to avoid. So the boss gets a poor score here. Next is Float. Float is characterized by pathways with varying widths and elevation. These move into areas that are littered with obstacles. Edges of the map have short forking rooms, not runes. Why did I say that? Density is poor, so many enemies hide or get stuck behind obstacles, meaning you're having to go into these many little rooms. There are also strangely wide areas like pathways that don't have any enemies in them. So density is awful. Navigation, also awful, partly for the reasons I already listed. To full clear, you've got to duck in and out of these tiny crevices in the map. Safety is also poor because the debris scattered throughout the map is easy to get stuck on. And the only redeeming quality of this map is that the boss is easy. The boss is very easy. So that's Float. Convection is characterized by long, wide pathways between rooms that vary in shape. Density is just okay. It's consistent throughout, but it's not the best. Navigation is bad. Navigation's bad on this one. There are a few offshoot rooms. Some don't even have enemies in them. I thought that was kind of weird. Safety is great. Aside from some staircases, there is plenty of room to escape damage. Now, the boss has a poor rating because it has a mechanic that it sweeps a big tree trunk around the battle area, and it varies in speed, and it can just take you out. It's one of those abilities that you've got to dodge it or you're probably gonna die. And with the varying speed, it just feels clunky and buggy, and so this bots gets low ratings here. Lastly, we have Cycle. Cycle is characterized by boxy rooms with large pillars and walls that form smaller rooms. Density in this map is great, but navigation is poor. All of the walls that form smaller rooms are going to require that you cross the same path several times to fully clear them. Safety's okay. There are obstacles and bottlenecks, but they're usually up against wider spaces that will allow you to move and avoid damage. The boss, very easy. Okay, so now I'm gonna give the overall star rating for each area. You could use this to maybe decide which areas you want to focus on for your compendium for this area. Tell me if you agree or disagree with any of these. So Nemera Breath, tier 1 and 6, gets a 3.5 out of 4 stars. So this is the best. This is top of the line. Tied for runner-up, we have Nemera Cycle and Nemera Flow. Each of those got 2.5 stars. We have Nemera Convection with 1.5 stars. And finally, we have Float. This map is awful. The only redeeming quality is the boss is super easy. So there's that. I would avoid Float if I can, because it really sucks. Okay, well, hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you like this. Let me know your thoughts on these maps, and I hope you have a good day.